Sometimes, the internet completely loses control over a moment that lasts less than 2 seconds. Not a confession. Not a public statement. Not even obvious flirting. Sometimes all it takes is one hidden glance, one soft expression, and millions of emotionally unstable fans replaying the clip at 0.25 times speed. And suddenly, the entire fandom spirals into chaos overnight, because that's exactly what just happened with Tian Xiwei and Yu Menglong. What originally looked like a completely ordinary interaction has now become one of the hottest discussions across CN after fans notice something they absolutely cannot stop talking about. Tian Xiwei's hidden look toward Yu Menglong. And honestly, the second viewers started replaying the clip carefully, the internet emotionally collapsed immediately. Because according to fans, that look didn't feel normal. It felt soft, emotional, and strangely real. Now Douyin and Weibo are completely flooded with slow-motion edits, zoomed-in eye contact analysis, hidden feelings theories, and emotionally chaotic fan comments trying to decode what really happened in that moment. Some viewers think fans are overanalyzing a completely harmless interaction. Others are fully convinced Tian Xiwei accidentally revealed genuine emotions cameras weren't supposed to catch. Meanwhile, fandom detectives, they've already entered full emotional investigation mode again. So today, let's talk about why Tian Xiwei's hidden look toward Yu Menglong suddenly exploded online, what details fans became obsessed with, and why the internet once again transformed one tiny interaction into full emotional chaos. Trust me, this situation escalated way faster than anyone expected. The moment that started everything. At first, the interaction itself looked incredibly small. Honestly, most casual viewers probably wouldn't even notice it. No dramatic movement, no obvious flirting. Just a glance, a soft expression, and a tiny moment that passed almost instantly. But unfortunately, fandom detectives notice everything. And the second the clip started circulating, online fans immediately focused on Tian Xiwei's expression. And honestly, that's when social media completely lost emotional stability. The internet immediately said, "Wait, look at her eyes." Very quickly, one comment completely dominated online discussions. "Wait, look at her eyes." And honestly, that sentence alone emotionally destroyed fandom spaces. Because fans instantly started replaying the clip repeatedly, analyzing eye contact, facial expressions, reaction timing, and body language. At this point, fandom investigators genuinely analyze celebrity interactions like they're solving international mysteries. Some viewers claimed that expression looked way too soft. Others wrote, "She looked emotionally distracted for a second," and suddenly, one tiny glance became full internet chaos. Fans started rewatching the clip frame by frame. Now honestly, once fandoms emotionally commit to a theory, there's absolutely no stopping the internet anymore. Fans began replaying every second, every blink, every reaction. Slow motion, zoom-ins, brightness adjustments. At this point, viewers were analyzing expressions harder than film students analyze cinema scenes. And honestly, the more people watched the clip, the more emotionally convinced they became. Because subtle emotional moments always feel more believable to audiences than obvious fan service. The internet said the look felt too real. Soon, social media became flooded with the exact same phrase. "That didn't feel like acting." And honestly, that comment spread fast, because many viewers genuinely felt Tian Xiwei's expression carried warmth, hesitation, and emotional softness. Not stage performance energy, just instinctive emotional reaction. And honestly, that type of realism emotionally destroys fandoms every single time. Because audiences love moments that feel accidentally genuine, Douyin immediately turned into chaos. Of course. Once the clip exploded, Douyin immediately lost emotional control again. Slow-motion edits appeared everywhere. Romantic music overlays, close-up zooms, black and white cinematic filters. At this point, fan editors transformed a 2-second glance into a full emotional movie trailer. And honestly, some edits became genuinely dangerous emotionally. Even casual viewers started commenting, "Okay, wait, why does this feel real?" That's when you know internet chaos officially escaped containment again. Yu Menglong's reaction also became a huge topic. Now honestly, things became even more chaotic once fans started analyzing Yu Menglong's reaction too. Because according to viewers, his energy also looked unusually soft during the interaction. And honestly, that completely intensified the rumors. Now people weren't just discussing Tian Xiwei's expression anymore. They were discussing mutual chemistry, emotional atmosphere, and hidden connection theories. And honestly, that emotional escalation happened terrifyingly fast. The internet loves accidental chemistry. At the end of the day, one reason this situation exploded so aggressively is because audiences love chemistry that appears accidental. Not exaggerated fan service, not scripted flirting, but tiny emotional reactions that seem natural, instinctive, and emotionally authentic, because those moments feel believable. And honestly, believable chemistry emotionally affects fandoms way more deeply than obvious romance scenes sometimes. The soft atmosphere comments went viral. Another huge discussion online involved the atmosphere surrounding the interaction itself. Fans repeatedly described the moment as soft. And honestly, that word spread everywhere. Because many viewers felt the emotional energy between Tian Xiwei and Yu Menglong looked comfortable, gentle, and emotionally warm. Not loud romantic tension, but quiet emotional familiarity. And honestly, that kind of chemistry usually affects audiences the most deeply, because it feels emotionally real. The internet started connecting old moments together. Of course, once fandom detectives begin, they never stop at one clip. Soon, fans started reposting older interviews, behind-the-scenes interactions, event moments, and previous eye contact clips involving Tian Xiwei and Yu Menglong. Now suddenly the hidden glance became new evidence inside a much larger emotional storyline fandom started building online. And honestly, the internet absolutely loved every second of it. At this point, audiences aren't just watching celebrity interactions anymore. They're emotionally constructing full romance dramas from facial expressions. Some fans became fully convinced. Now honestly, this is where the internet became impossible to control. Some fans stopped treating the interaction like speculation entirely. They became emotionally convinced there must be something real happening. Not because of evidence, but because of the feeling. Yes, the feeling again. At this point, fandom culture survives almost entirely on emotional intuition and cinematic imagination. And honestly, that's exactly why the chaos spread so fast. Other viewers said the internet was overanalyzing again. Of course, not everyone agreed with the theories. Some viewers argued people are reading way too deeply into ordinary interactions, and celebrities naturally make eye contact constantly. And honestly, that's also completely true. But unfortunately, logic rarely wins once emotional fandom storytelling begins, especially when audiences already want the fantasy to feel real. And honestly, the internet definitely wanted this fantasy. The comment sections became absolute chaos. Soon, social media comment sections completely collapsed emotionally. Some fans wrote, "We are not mentally surviving this interaction." Others joked one glance destroyed the entire fandom again. And honestly, that's probably the most accurate summary possible, because the emotional reaction surrounding this tiny moment became genuinely massive within hours. The internet turned one look into a full romance theory. Eventually, the situation became much bigger than the original clip itself. Now fans were discussing hidden feelings, emotional tension, relationship possibilities, and accidental emotional reveals. And honestly, the internet fully transformed one hidden glance into an entire cinematic emotional universe again. At this point, fandom culture basically runs on eye contact, micro expressions, and emotional overanalysis.